of Minecraft. It's so peaceful, so serene, with its beautiful beaches, lush forests, and snowy mountains. The crafters are so lucky to enjoy their entire lives in this true masterpiece of euphoria. That's until some idiot IRL friendly decides to do hardcore. Yeah, it wasn't enough that we completely failed last time. He wants to go in for another round. And I guess here we are again. In hell. This, what you see right now, that is where we are. Not literally. That's how I feel. When I look around, that's what I see. Either way, enjoy my suffering, as we do many days of hardcore Minecraft.
We're back! That's right, we're back and we're here with day 81. It's so good to be back in the world, and we're here to continue off the seawall, that's right. Now, we had to continue off setting up the area for the lighting, because obviously I hadn't finished all the way along. I'd only finished that small section. And so I had to put a lot of the deep slate in. I had to put in some of the dark oak doors, the dark oak trapdoors, doing all the railing along the way. It was nice. It had to be prepared for day 82, where we'd be putting in the street lamps. For the street lamps, I really wanted to do high-low situation, and I liked it from the example, I guess the original. And I was just like, let's continue doing this. It looks good, and I think it's for the best. But here's a little clip of us preparing the area for the street lamps, and then tomorrow will be the street lamps itself. On day 83, I ran into a roadblock. No, a road bump. No, a giant-ass obstacle. Yeah, I ran into an issue. I realized that my storage was going to be in the way. Also, that I just didn't have enough storage in general. So I was thinking to myself, oh god. Well, I have to find somewhere to put all my storage. And it hit me. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Wait, we have a dungeon beneath us. Dungeon, like just beneath where we are right now. A huge open area that's not really being used for anything that we could transform into a storage area. Which, you know, it just kind of slowly progressed through my brain. It was like the train kept stopping every 10 seconds to drop people off. But I got there, and I was so excited. I'm like, all I have to do is clear out the area and then just put barrels everywhere. Also, I thought about putting like a boardwalky type thing so I could get to each area. And that way I can make a higher level of barrels. At least that's how I would get up to them. But before I could do any of that, I had to get some item frames. Because obviously there was going to be a whole ton of item frames if I'm going to be putting a lot of barrels in. And right now I had no leather. Well, I had very little leather. Practically none. And it would need leather and sticks. So I decided to go out into the world and collect some leather. On day 84, we were on the hunt for leather and wood. That's right, I collected a whole bunch of leather from cows and sometimes horses. Those poor things. They just scream when you kill them. At least cows go moo and get murdered and turn into steak. But no, horses scream in pain. Whinny. Is it whinning? Is it whinny? Would they go, isn't that whinny? Whinnying? I don't know. I don't know how you say it. It's crazy. And sheep don't even have to die. You know, they can just get their wool shorn off. But no, cows have to get skinned for their leather. And I don't think you're going to survive a skinning. I was also cutting down trees and having a bit of an inner monologue moment, which was very weird. Well, I guess they wouldn't be called murderers. What's this? Oh, wow. This place is pretty. Look at all the flowers. Oh, this is like a... Well, isn't this a sewer? We found it. Ew, gross. Oh, God, the dirty water. Oh, God, gross. Ew, it's sewer water. What's the point of being in here again? Eh. Oh, God, I stepped in the poop water. Oh, God, so much poop water. I don't get it. It just blocks off everywhere. I mean, we're gonna have to make one of these. We're gonna have to make one. So is that it? It's just, there's just a sewer here. That's it. It's nothing to the sewer. It exists. Oh God, more poop water. I am going to be making a sewer underneath my industrial area. You know, it's important. You know, you gotta have a sewer. You gotta have a sewer system. I might try to connect it up to my storage area. On day 85, a wandering trader visited me. It was nice. It was nice to actually see a wandering trader, especially because since the update, they've had like updates to their trades, which I've actually thought about it. And looking at the old ones, looking at the new ones, it's such a good like choice. The fact that you can actually trade things to them to get emeralds back, I really like that. You could trap a whole bunch of wandering traders, especially if you want the new stuff like the leaves and the firecracker plants and things that you can't usually trade for. You could just trap a whole bunch of wandering traders and name them and put them in places. And I've never thought to do that because I knew it could happen, but I've never thought to do that until they changed the trading stuff. I also decided to put in all the barrels. You know, the barrels need to go in. It was important to me that we put as many barrels as we can because obviously there were a lot. There were a shit ton. Day 86, day 87, day 88. We were doing our storage. That's right. We had put all the barrels in now. And it was about time to do all the sorting. There was so many things to sort. I believe I had like 32 barrels laid out, all the different levels and in my room, etc. So I had to sort out all 32 barrels, placing everything into little areas. I've come to realize that I like to group things together more than most people do, and I'm sure if someone was to see my storage room, they'd probably be very confused. And I apologize for that, but here is the rest of the time lapse of me sorting through stuff. Day 89. We had to move the enchantment table. That's right, we're moving it again. It's gone from the boat, to the shore, to the storage room. But I placed it perfectly right in the center. I also placed a few of my workstations out so that I could use them pretty quickly and easily, from the furnaces to the stone cutter to a normal workbench. But that did mean, because I had moved everything now, including my bed, I had to get rid of the boat. Well, had to flatten the boat. It was a sad moment, a sad part of the day where I had to destroy the boat that we had been living in. I don't know, there's just some part of me that was like, goodbye, my lover, goodbye, my friend. Although I didn't fall in love with the boat, so maybe a better song. I can't think of any lonely songs. I think lonely, I am so lonely. No, that still doesn't work either. You know what, I destroyed the boat, it's dead now. Day 90. I started off day 90 avoiding all the storage stuff for a little, just a little bit. I was like, no, not today. And I decided to put in some new villager stations. Still realizing we had way too many villagers. We had way too many. How am I going to sort these guys? I'm not going to be able to get them out without 100 of them going with them. It was a lot. It was a lot. But I was able to do a little bit of light trading with the librarians. Need to get some books and stuff, or at least get them to the ones that I want. I'm still going to have to figure out the enchantment situation with the books, because I find it easier to do it that way than just doing random enchants and getting all the XP. That's just my personal preference. And then I escaped out of there with my life, trying to get out of... I was getting shoved and pushed by all the villagers. They were like bullying me. Day 91. I'd planned to do a little bit of the road. Now, I love roads. I've done roads in quite a few builds. I think I did a road in Friendlyverse. I've done some roads in... what's it called? Oh, well, we did roads in all the way back in NEWBOURHOOD Season 2. There's many, actually. There's a heap that I've done roads in. But I just like roads. I feel really comfortable with roads. And I really like the whole having the gutters and having the sidewalk. And then you've got to... When you have the corner, let's have a street lamp there. Or it's for me, it's just... It feels nice. I like having paths that go places. I don't know. But I started doing some plans of a little bit of roads. We also had a creeper blow up. That knocked out some of the item frames. I don't know why. I was so confused. I was like, what the hell just happened? Anyway, here's a time lapse of the road. Sorry. Distraction. Day
so
92.
I feel like
we
the
were
best
moving
thing
on
to go to
the
next
sewers,
is maybe
because I
making
was
some of
wanting
the,
something different. I
the
was wanting a little
sewer,
bit of change.
because it's got to connect up to here.
I was wanting to do
So what
a
I'm
sewer
thinking
that
is
would
I'm going
lead
to
from
make
the
a sewer
up
drain.
above down into
Now I know you're
my
wondering why am I
storage room.
doing the sewer drain
I
instead
thought
of
it'd be
doing
really
the stuff
cool
on
to do
top,
it with a
because
sewer.
I'd rather get the bottom stuff at least
Especially after
started,
when we were
and
exploring, I
I
found a
think
little
I'm gonna
mini
put the drain
sewer
right
just
here.
in the side of a mountain.
It's
I
going
thought
to be
that
dipped
was
into
cool,
the
so
water
I was
just
like,
a
you know what,
little
let's
bit.
do
We're
a
going to
sewer.
put iron bars.
I also did
and
something
we're
like
gonna
this in
use
another
stone
world,
brick.
another personal world.
So
I don't
finally
know
get
where
to use
it's
the
gone.
stone
I think I
brick.
ended up deleting it because
It's then going
I
to come
just
this
was so
way
annoyed with it. I was like,
then
nah,
stop
nah,
here,
I don't like
and then
this.
it will
I
go
don't like
up
this.
towards there.
It took me like
which is going
months
to
to
be
do that
interesting.
world, and I
So
don't
we're gonna
know
see
why
how
I
we can
delete
make it
things.
work.
I feel like
but,
I'm just like, I
don't
don't want
know,
to
do I
cause
now have to get
wasted
rid of all this
space.
then?
I'd be a
just make the
terrible
stone
hoarder.
drain
I'd be
to
a
about,
terrible hoarder.
like, the
But
part,
unfortunately,
should I
we
have
needed
water at
more
the bottom?
stone.
How am
I
I gonna
had
get up? Or should
no
we do a
stone
water
left.
elevator?
I had used most of
Or
it
should I just
in
do a ladder?
the
I should just do a
seawall,
ladder.
and then
I'll
broken
do the
down a
same
lot
kind
of it for
thing,
the
except
cobblestone in
the
the
ladder will be
seawall.
pushed
So,
back
time for a
to
time lapse
there.
of stone.
to there.
Day 93, the first thing I had to do was start the sewer. But I had to make the sewer entrance, and there was a part of me that was very confused on what I wanted to do with it. As you'll hear from in a few seconds, I was kind of wondering whether I should do big or whether I should do small.
We'll go the bigger one. We'll go bigger. Bigger is always better, said
I don't know. Americans. Said Americans. Ugh, gross. Gross this. Can we even make it that big? I don't think we can make it that big because then it will go to here. It's just like, hey, so look how huge the grate would be. I could put it lower down and do a big one, but that'd be insane, and then I wouldn't be able to do properly up the top, I don't think. Well, there you go. I decided to do smaller. I didn't really have a choice, though. I didn't really have a choice. I was kind of disappointed because I really did want to do a bigger one, but I'd have to make the seawall taller, and I just don't think it needs to be any more tall than it is. I mean, maybe it would have been a good idea, but then I'd have to, make the seawall taller and the pillars and everything like that. So if I wanted to make it bigger, I would have had to make the sewer before we did the top of the seawall. It's just unfortunate things, but hey, we still got to make a sewer. I also had to find out where the sewer would connect to my storage room and clear some of the sand away, which was a little annoying, but it was needed. And some of the sand did break through and go down into my storage room, so I had to do a bit of cleanup down there as well. Oh well, it was all worth it. And that means we moved on to day and that would then move into day 45, and that would then move into day 94 and 95, where we ended up doing a little bit of a time lapse. So enjoy that! Enjoy. On day 96, I had some bone meal, and I had bones, and so I made them into bone meal, and then decided I'd go down into the sewer and bone meal the little lower area to get some kelp or seagrass or whatever it is. It's seagrass, isn't it? Yeah, seagrass. I put in some iron bars and then decided it needed something. It needed something a little bit extra. I thought maybe we'd put some glow berries in there and then put some strings so they didn't grow too far. But that wasn't enough. That was coming down. We needed something on the water. And then I thought about it. Lily pads. Why not? I mean, lily pads would be great, especially with all the additions and the resource pack I had. Lily pads would look really pretty in there. Give it a little bit of light to the darkness, and that's why I wanted the glowberries, because glowberries would make it so that I can light up the area without putting torches or any weird thing that wouldn't really make sense in a sewer. You wouldn't have a torch. You wouldn't have torches in a sewer. Not unless you're actually making a dungeony kind of sewer in a medieval world. But we weren't doing that. We weren't doing a medieval world. Maybe one day we will. But that did force me to go out into the world and actually find lily pads. Day 98. This was the day I decided something. I decided my theme. I would probably regret it later, but after I had watched a few other people really working on different themes, and I remember playing a game like Nowhere Like Home or something. It was a survival game, and it was a super futuristic game, but it had like overgrowth and stuff like that, and all I could think of was like Solarpunk. I also think that it's either Gemini Tay or Pearlescent Moon was doing Solarpunk for Hermitcraft. I haven't really paid attention much to Hermitcraft, so I'm not entirely sure, but after learning about all the stuff that they've been doing on Hermitcraft, I couldn't turn away and not say that I wouldn't want to try Solarpunk. I even started to think about what I could do to add to the sides of the road, like maybe some cypress trees. I thought it'd be really cool to add trees there and add some nature to it, but there was just so much to think about, and it was such a big decision to make. On day 99, I was preparing for the future. I knew we were going to survive a lot longer. We were almost at day 100, so if we were going to die at day 100, that'd be crazy. But we're at day 99, so I decided to go out and get some materials. I'd need them for the cypress trees. I needed dark oak, I need spruce wood, I'd probably need spruce leaves or dark oak leaves. I wasn't too sure. I eventually came to the conclusion, closer to when I actually went out there, to get dark oak leaves and spruce logs. And we did that with a little bit of a time lapse. Day 100. I started off this day with getting spruce wood. That's right, you get to look at a time lapse at the start of this day. Wasn't that a wonderful time lapse? I then went into the sewers. I bone mealed the glowberries to make them light up. It was nice. So we now have a light down there. Spreading it out as much as I can without overdoing it. There were lots of lily pads there as well, so that was really nice. Then I went upstairs to look at the place I wanted to put the cypress trees, and I decided at the bottom of all the cypress trees I'd put some frog lights. The frog lights I got from the lighthouse like days ago. I put them in the bottom of them and put some trapdoors, preparing it for the future. Now, this is day 100. We're at the end. We're at day 100. It's crazy. But that means it's time to wrap it up. In the future, I definitely want to do a lot of things. I'm so excited to try to work with redstone, try to do the new stuff that Hermitcraft has been doing with like the mechanics, the windows and the opening windows and the escalators and the turning cogs and all that kind of stuff, the fans. I'm really excited to see how I can make that work. But for now, it's time to say goodbye, and I'll see you very soon in a new project. We probably won't have more hardcore till next year, but when we do, we'll be starting on a Solarpunk world. We have some exciting stuff coming up. Solarpunk, something I've never worked with before, but I've said that many times, and it usually turns out pretty cool. I mean, my favorite thing is the Friendly First Mansion. Anyway, guys, I'll see you very soon, and I hope you've enjoyed this series so far. I hope to see you again, so tune in. I don't know when the next episode's going to be, but I'll try to make it as soon as I can.